When is it time to be silent? And when is it time to speak? We're in a week in which silence and speech is at the forefront of ideas in the Jewish world, both because of Parshat Shemini, our portion for the week, and because of Yom HaShoah, which was observed Wednesday night and yesterday. I'm reminded that every year, as we circle back to the very same Torah portion, we learn something new, no matter how many times we've experienced these same words, because this year, our world looks different, and the questions embedded in the text speak to something both ancient and modern. In Shemini, Aaron is silent in the face of terrible tragedy, the terrible tragedy of his son's deaths. The silence is striking. In just 2 short verses, we learn of Nadav and Avihu's death. Then Moses said to Aaron, "This is what Adonai meant by saying, 'Through those near to me I show myself holy and gain glory before all the people.'" And Aaron was silent. This is one of the most painful parts of the Torah that I can think of. I've shared some more thoughts about Aaron's pain on my social media post as well. Here, though, I want to focus specifically on Aaron's silence. Rashi draws a line between this text and another one we know from Ecclesiastes, which we often hear at funerals and which is often read and supposed to be read at Sukkot. A season is set for everything, a time for every experience under heaven, the text explains. Now, Rashi says that these are times when a person is silent and receives a reward, and he cites our verse, "And Aaron was silent." He explains that we know Aaron was rewarded by this because God spoke directly to him in the next communication. And Midrash Rabbah goes on to explain that this is very unusual for God to speak individually to anyone but Moses. But here, because of Aaron's silence, God turns to him directly. Rashi goes on to explain that there are also times to speak, and these are clarified by 3 other texts. First, then Moses sang, which comes from the portion that we read just last Shabbat for Pesach, B'Shalach, the Song of the Sea. And this is when the Israelites had crossed safely through the sea, and Moses led the people in praise and celebration of their survival and their victory. And then Rashi cites the Haftarah from B'Shalach in Judges, in which Devorah, the prophetess, also sang her words of truth. And finally, Hosea says, "Take words with you." And this passage translates sacrifice into speech. Instead of a physical offering at the temple, we're supposed to offer our words. So clearly, when to speak and when to keep silence are noted by our ancient rabbis. And this signals the fact that these are not easy concepts to grasp. Rabbi Nachman of Bratzlav explains that in youth, we learn to talk, and as we mature, we learn to keep our mouths shut. He says this is a human being's problem, that he learns to talk before he learns to keep silent. We see this confusion in a house of mourning when people are inspired to speak when they should just show up. Rav Papa in the Talmud in Brachot explains that the merit found in attending a house of mourning, which is a major mitzvah in our tradition, actually lies in the silence observed. Many rabbis have spoken about the power of song, and songs are noted by Rashi as times to speak. We know that melodies transcend language, so they express something powerful that words can't. Silence, too, expresses things that words can't when used in the right place. It can be tremendous strength to hold your peace. The Talmud tells us of another place where silence is mandated. There's a story in which Moses is told by God to keep silent. God shows Moses all the future generations of the Jewish people, and in one particular instance, Moses sees Rabbi Akiva, and he's really impressed with his knowledge and his wisdom. But then Moses sees Akiva tortured to death. He exclaims, "Is this what happens in this world from Torah knowledge?" And God replies to him to keep silent. Why would this be? Wouldn't it seem appropriate to speak out against this injustice? Well, yes and no. Beforehand, we are taught, do everything possible to prevent tragedy. But after, Moses is being told that his speech does harm. Out of pain, he begins to suggest that all this goodness and learning is for nothing. Pain muddies truth, and when that happens, when we speak things that are false. it can be tremendous strength to speak up as well. Years ago, the Polish government celebrated the 85th anniversary of the Polish Air Force, and many countries were invited to participate, including Israel. And the Israeli Air Force insisted upon a flyover of Auschwitz. Poland didn't like this and thought that this would be a disturbance of the peace of this solemn place, but they allowed it, provided the planes were quiet. So, these planes, filled with survivors of Auschwitz, flew over Auschwitz. But right when they got to the gas chambers, they peeled away with a blast of sound. Shevach Weiss, the Israeli ambassador to Poland at the time, explained that this quiet had to be disturbed. The only way to break the silence was with the caustic screech of an Israeli F-15 jet. There are times when we get this right, and there are times when we do not, and this has taken place throughout the centuries. It's valuable, especially in the time of the internet, when whatever we say is so easily heard that we pay close attention. So I'm going to ask you to do something that I think comes less naturally to us. Instead of leaping in your mind to other people and the times when they should be silent or speak up, spend this week noticing your own behavior. Just make it a point first thing in the morning to think about silence and speech. And then as you go about your day, be aware of when you feel you've gotten it right and when you may have gotten it wrong. Tonight, we'll gather for the observance of Shabbat and to reflect on Yom HaShoah, the day of remembrance of the Holocaust. We will use music and melody to express things that are beyond language, as our rabbis have instructed us, and we will take moments of silence. We will also speak. Rabbi Aronson and I will share some thoughts throughout the service, and there will be an opportunity for all of you to share some thoughts as well. We'll discuss the way the commemoration of Yom HaShoah has evolved throughout these years and how the way we speak about the Jewish experience can or should shift in a post-October 7th world. I wish you a week of powerful reflection and the appropriate use of both silence and speech. Shabbat Shalom.